is doing all of these things that we don't even need to think about. What is my appendix doing right now? What is my gallbladder? Where is that? Like, we don't even need to have that awareness because the body is so intelligent. So it's doing life for you, right? But that doesn't mean that there needs to be a disconnect. We can still connect in because we're offering it a different way to work with the intelligence that we are. These concepts, resilience, what is, okay, let's eat it. Let's see, even how does it sound in your mouth? What does it feel like? How does it feel like on your body? How can I feel resilient? What does resilience feel like?
Welcome to the Incoming Radiant Wellness Podcast, where intuitive movement educators Jem Burns and Stephanie Y-Jolivet help you to embody spiritual concepts in order to embrace your physio-energetic wholeness. And now, let's get to the episode. Welcome back to another episode of the Incoming Radiant Wellness. I am Stephanie.
I am Jem.
And we are the Incoming, and we have arrived. It is our 10th episode. It is the final episode, not only of our season, but of this beautiful 2025 year. So today we are going to be speaking on and embodying and feeling into resilience. And it's especially relevant now as we are really entering the throes of the holiday season, and also this transition from 2025 into 2026. And even that word resilience, resounding brilliance, resilience, there's something in there of that lusciousness, that light, that returning to the light in that word and how it can be spoken. And the simplest way that I can define it for us is resilience is the ability to move yourself from a disharmonious state into a harmonious state. And the more resilient you become, the quicker that transition becomes from disharmony to harmony. And so resilience offers us a pathway to the light. And so, Jem, where are you in this now moment finding your resilience?
Yeah, I love that. A pathway to the light. I think it's remembering your lights, remembering your center, because my life is very different and I move around a lot and I'm working in different people's homes when I'm working with their animals and spending time in different environments. And so resilience is something that I have to really come home to myself, to be myself, to be able to do the work that I do with animals. And for me, it's almost like when everything's changing around, how can you maintain your central channel, your light, your love, and really resound from that place? That feels like the way that I see resilience almost on a daily basis, just because of the way that I live my life and move around in this world.
Yes, absolutely. I have been really grounded in this house, in this space, in this presence of La Campagna in France. I've really been in one place, anchoring my frequency and vibration. Jem, would you tell our radiant audience a bit more about what you do and how are you taken from space to space, and why and how you've arrived there, especially with your connection to animals?
Yeah, it's so interesting when you're saying that you're grounding your frequency. I see mine as more grid work of my light. So that's why I'm moving into different homes. But the work that I'm doing with animals is really a practice of presence, of really occupying that state to become a mirror. I mostly work with dogs at the moment, and they're mirrors of their humans. And so by becoming the mirror, It's this dance and dialogue that I come into to understand the energy dynamics of the animal and then be a translator to the human of what is that experience, what is that animal moving through in a way that can be understood. And so to do that, I have to be in the home with the animal, because that's where they're gonna really show themselves as who they are and what are their tics and behaviors and patterns. And so I'm moving from different spaces and different dogs, and it's a lot of different dynamics to play in. Animals are such master teachers. I feel like a student of dogs, not a teacher of dogs. They speak this language, and so they really hone in. And also, it's a bridge, right? We have to understand our counterparts, human, dog, kids, whatever we're working with in our lives. It's just such a beautiful practice to be able to drop into that presence, really be in that silent, still space, to then amplify out from a fullness. And for me, resilience has a lot to do with that, because it's a returning home to the self after you get shaken. And we can get shaken from just being in a different environment for a couple of days or a moment, or being with a different person or a different energy. And so how do I maintain myself in that is resilience.
And I love that it's like, yeah, when you're shaken, and it's even like when you can imagine you shake something like a water bottle, and then you look at the water, eventually it will come back to that stillness. So I love that you use that, yeah, how can I be shaken up, or how can we be shaken up and then return to that stillness? And it's right there in that word. So the is that going back to visiting again. And then right there's silence. The other part of the word is silence with an extra I. And I love that, because then it's the returning home to silence. And what's in the middle of that silence is your source energy. And that silence is that stillness, is tuning out the noise to tune into you. Okay, well, what's the noise? The noise is legitimately anything that does not serve you, anything that you are intaking, imbibing, ingesting, all sensory information that leaves you feeling fear, that leaves you feeling anxious, that leaves you feeling doubt. And those three are pretty big, I would say, worldwide in this moment. In our collective consciousness and our collective reality. So then a place to start is, okay, what am I consuming? Okay, I'm listening to this particular podcast. Do I feel good? Oh yeah, I feel good. Okay, continue to do that. Oh, I'm eating a whole bag of chips. Oof, I don't really feel good. Okay, so maybe that's a sensory information. That's a place where you can begin to look at and say, okay, do I want to change that? Am I able to change that? And how can I change that to make my almost, it's like you're creating the path to make the resiliency factor more bright, so that then you can come back home. So the more that you can begin to consciously consume, the more you'll have a relationship to your source, the more resilient you will become.
Yeah, we're distracted all of the time. There is a war for our attention everywhere, in every interaction, and billboards and TV and our phones, our devices. Everything is looking for that engagement from you. And so it can very easily take you off your mark, take you off your center, because you're constantly negotiating that energy. So there's this conflict, right, out in the way that we are interacting in the world, of doing an action, and it's a part of the culture and the way that we move in the world. And we are also here to be ourselves, to find our truth, to reflect our authenticity. And so that's something that's really coming online through the awareness that we're having. So the awareness is the key to creating the change, to creating the different groove. I love to talk about the record player, but if you're in that loop, in that same song, you're going to be singing the same song until you figure out how to move over. If I don't know what to do and so many options are coming to me, I just sit until I know. I pause, I wait, I have patience. And then I have a lot of grace for myself for not being so quick to make a decision or feeling indecisive. I don't judge myself in that language anymore, where, oh, you're so indecisive, why can't you just make a decision? That can be an inner talk that we all have different ways of talking to ourselves. And in that, how is that serving me? How is that helping me to move, right? It's keeping me in a state and not able to negotiate that breath, that being here now moment.
What I love that you brought us there, because I read something recently. There's a lot of surfacing of, hey, this concept that you thought was woo-woo, there's science behind it. There's a lot of that coming out right now. And I read something that said, I bet you don't know what this one tip is to make yourself more resilient. Drum roll.
What is it? What is it?
Self-talk. And take that for what it is. It was on Instagram. It's a neuroscientist perspective. I don't remember the neuroscience. What I remember is like, duh. I've been it's so funny. Maybe it's a movement person. Maybe it's the influence of physical therapists. That's the one thing that I will ask a client to say, okay, let's stop. Let's do that again. How else could you speak to your knee? Because a lot of times you say, oh, my dumb knee. Well, you know what, folks? When you do that, your brain hears, oh, okay, I'm not going to send blood there for healing. So resilience I'll take it to the body terms. Resilience in our body is the ability to heal. So if your body is less resilient and then you get an injury or you get ill, it will take you longer to heal. You will heal because our bodies are incredibly adaptable and incredibly our biggest support. Like our guts are working on our behalf to release toxins and pull out the nutrients as we all sit here together or drive or whatever situation you find yourself in this moment. But our bodies are working lovingly on our behalf. And it has been proven in whatever way, mine is experiential with clients, but it has been proven that when you speak lovingly to your body, it will respond quicker. It will be more resilient. And so the more that that self-talk is also something that we are consuming, and the more conscious we can be. What voice am I using? Is it like this, or is it soft? Is it a motherly, or is it like, sometimes I speak in English accent? Like, so is it playful? What is going on in your head? Because your body hears it and responds, and it is a one-to-one relationship. So if you tell your body, oh, thank you for showing up for me, even when I don't sometimes. I love you. Thank you. When you say that, your body hears, because those words are an energy. Those words speak a vibration, and then you pull in that frequency. So I know for myself, and I've seen it. I've seen, especially in these past, I would say 4 years since I've become a maman here in France, I've seen my body heal faster. And because it's with plant medicine, it's with energetic medicine, it's with breath work. Breath work for me is has been a game changer in my world, in my expanse, in my healing. A few weeks ago, my whole family, ma petite famille, était malade. We were going through an immunity boost. So I've been turning to what we would call alternative medicine. And this time my body was asking for rest, and it was really interesting. Because I've been practicing tuning into my body and the energy of my body, it was asking for healing in this breath work, in this parasympathetic nervous system way. And it's just a 10-minute intention setting practice. And my body, even though I had a sore throat and I was tired and a headache and all of those things, my body, or maybe because of, and this new path that my soul has led my human toward, that it really wanted me to lay down and move through this breathwork practice and release. So it was more about a release rather than imbibing to stuff down. And so for me, that practice of listening and tuning into my physical body and speaking gentle, loving words with my inner voice, those are two extremely powerful practices of resilience, of tuning out the noise, tuning into me, and then taking that inspired action to move toward healing. Because that is what we do here, friends, radiant friends out there. Come heal yourself in community with us at the Incoming. Sis, that's what we've been doing. Jem, that is what you and I have been doing with each other. And these are the tools that now we can bring to you. Talk to yourself lovingly. Research, science shows it. And then also, yet tune out as much noise as you can. Turn off your phone. Turn down the screen. Even if it's for a minute, even if it doesn't seem like it's going to last. It will then give you that pathway, a new pathway, that new groove that Jem was just speaking about toward more resilience, more healing, more self-love.
Yeah, I love that you even touched upon gratitude, because gratitude is such a thread. It's like, how can we remember? Well, immediately go to gratitude. I was working in fashion for many years, and it can be a tough industry. It's very competitive, a lot of women, cat claw energy. And I would find myself in these frustrations. And immediately I would just go to my desk and write 10 things I was grateful for, just to change, because I have to change that groove. I'm working to change that groove. And that time, that was my pathway in, because resilience is not a loud roar. It's not going to come and be like, do this. It's very subtle. Tuning in is a very soft process. Resilience isn't loud and in your face. It's very soft and gentle. It's more like, ooh, what can I attune to? How can I change? Again, my work with animals, I love it because it reflects so much in life. Literally what I do with animals is I just move the dial. I move the dial until I hit a resonance, until I hit something that is sparking back, that's creating this. And it's the same in meditation or going in. It's like, okay, I'm softening. And then, okay, I hit something. What is that? Become still and wait. A lot of waiting, a lot of patience. But in that waiting, we're building the muscle of resilience. It's like, yeah, how do I bring this word, this concept into my body? Because the body is doing all of these things that we don't even need to think about. What is my appendix doing right now? What is my gallbladder? Where is that? Like, we don't even need to have that awareness, because the body is so intelligent. So it's doing life for you, right? But that doesn't mean that there needs to be a disconnect. We can still connect in, because we're offering it a different way to work with the intelligence that we are. These concepts, resilience, what is, okay, let's eat it. Let's see, even how does it sound in your mouth? What does it feel like? How does it feel like on your body? How can I feel resilient? What does resilience feel like? Oh, it feels powerful. It feels powerful to be able to adapt in any circumstance, no matter what. That's a powerful tool, right? To be moving around. You don't need to be like me and literally move around physically into all of these different places and spaces and timelines. I will say this path has led me through a profound growth in my evolution, in my expansion, in my way of being able to see and address and calibrate to any situation that is happening. I'm just starting to move. And gratitude is a big thread for me in that. And grace. Grace when I don't know, or grace when I make a decision that's a little left of the mark or a little right of the mark. And and it's not quite right, instead of, because perfectionism is a part of my past self that I'm working on, really giving that girl a lot of grace, my little perfectionist. I love her so dearly. I'm like, it's okay. It's okay to be off the mark, because guess what? Calibration is about adjusting. How can I move? It's a co-creative process. We're constantly in dialogue with everything around us. So the more that we can feel what is on the other side and be in that dialogue, no, that's not quite right. Okay, let me shift. Let me make a different choice, in other words, and then see how that flows. It's an experiment. We're here to evolve. We're here on this mission to grow and expand.
Absolutely, yes. And I really see that path towards that building of that muscle, towards loving these versions of ourself, of giving that grace, that there's a sacredness there, giving radical acceptance, conditions accepted. That loving yourself no matter what. And it doesn't mean that you let yourself off the hook. So when I see some of the things that I've said to my child, or the energy I've pushed towards him, this innocent creature, it's not like, oh, well, Stephanie, that's fine. No, it's not fine. And I've set an intention to give myself grace. So yes, I see that version and I still love her. And Stephanie, you cannot do that again. And I know you did the best you could do. And when you are ready to change, you will. That is a huge, you can even use that language. I did the best I could in that moment. And when I can shift and change, I will. And Jem, I love, Matt, this is similar, it's a thread in there. I love thinking of you as this recalibrated, this centered, radiant light bubble, moving, like you said, gridding from space to space to space. It's like you are literally existing out of space and time as this beautiful orb of light, and being an example of that resounding brilliance, of that resilient light bubble. Because what I want is, I want to be able, and I've seen it in myself, because again, Jem and I have both been in this practice of recalibration and resilience, is making a mistake, because I'm going to, especially with a kid who has big feelings and I'm tired, and whatever the situation is, for me, it does seem to be centered around my child. Like, so when I make a mistake, or what I deem a mistake, because my soul's like, Stephanie, this is all part of the plan. This is all, there is no good nor bad. It is all part of the plan. My human's like, I messed up again. Okay, wait a minute. Let me reframe. Let me breathe. And then I go to my tools. What can I do? Can I leave? No, I can't leave. Okay, so what can I do? Can I breathe? Yes, I can breathe. Can I turn away for a moment? Can I tell my child, I am sorry I reacted that way, and I am angry because of this? Like I was saying before, your body heals only as quick as it was healthy before. So I want my body to be as healthy. I want my energy to be as healthy and resilient as possible, so that, yeah, inevitably I will get ill. I will have an immunity boost. I will blow up. I will whatever it is. But that then, whoop, the healing is almost immediate. That's what I want. I want it to be up, messed up, breathe, whatever the tool is, and we're back again. That is what I want. And because I want that for me, I want that for you out there. I want that for Jem. I want that for my family, my friends, for not only the people closest, but for us as a collective. Because the more of us that understand, that comprehend, that embody, oh, that's what resilience does. It takes me to my light, and then I become like Jem, this beautiful glowing bubble floating around. The more of these bubbles that we are will eventually meet, will pop each other's bubble, and will become a larger bubble encompassing all. And so that to me makes me really happy. And it really does have this effect of, then what do bubbles do? They float. Of literally floating us all to a new timeline that is lighter, that is brighter, that is full of more love, that is full of this boom, 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 boom resilience.
Yeah, I feel very floaty and spacious in my radiant light bubble to be able to go into homes and affect change in the way that my energy is coalescing in those fields. I love also that you recoined the mistakes, the mistakes that we make. We're all making mistakes. That's how we learn. And so in that way, there's a reclamation happening, and maybe you're picking up on it through Stephanie saying, I'm in an energetic upgrade, or I'm in an immunity boost. Like these are different reclamations that she's saying, speaking to change the energy of that thing, of the illness, of the sickness. It's a very different vibration. So that is also a skill that is developing in all of us with the awareness that is coming online. And as we're moving and creating, we're going to be affecting others through the resounding of our own brilliance. The way that I live, I have this freedom in my expression. I have this freedom to do what I want, when I want, pretty much orchestrating around me. I literally made a job where I'm a dog's best friend. It's like, how, in what world? That's a great job. I want that job. That's why I created that job. And so it's this ability to drop in, because what are dogs? They're mirrors, right? They're going to bring a learning, they're going to bring a reflection for me to work with, to play with, to puzzle solve. That's what I feel like I'm doing. And it's the same as when I go to my own mirror. I'm my own puzzle to solve. I want to find myself there. I want to find my truth there, because we can have this ability to be like, yeah, because the ego wants to be big, and there's a lot of expression in how big we want to look and appear. And we could feel very small in that until we develop the muscles of resilience, right? Until we're really working that out to become. And so the mirror for me, I mean, I get mirrors all the time with people and animals, certainly, and myself. In that dynamic, I come to find my truth, and I come to build in that truth my resilience, because then I'm seeing what is true. It's very powerful in this earth realm. We are very visual. Our bodies have these amazing opticals that we are perceiving all of the time. And so while we are very sensorially engaged, and we can feel and touch and taste and express, for most of us, our strongest sense is the eyes. And so what we see, that's why we say this, seeing is believing. Seeing is believing. When I see it, I'm going to believe it. But it's not true. It's actually the other way around. And so I say
it's
that
one of those stories that the brain says, and like you said, it's collective. It's collective. So if we can switch that for our kids, my gosh, no, baby, just believe it, and then you'll see it. Wow, what is that? They already do. They're yes.
because it's a reframe. We're reclaiming the truth, right? So there's a lot of illusion happening around. But what is the truth? Go to the mirror. The mirror will tell you the truth. You cannot lie to yourself. I know every decision that I've made, every wrong decision, every ugly decision, every decision that I've ever made, I've been on the inside, the inner track of that decision. And I know exactly why I made that decision. And even if it was perceived from somebody else in a different way, I understood why I did it. And it could have been a mistake. But again, I know that I did it because it was the best that I had at the time. It was the best option that I could. I was trying something out. It didn't work out, and it's okay. It's that grace that we have to hold. Grace is a space. Grace is a space that we envelop ourselves in. It's the embrace, as Stephanie will say. It's the embrace of the self. We're really coming in to honor ourselves in this moment and to be in our integrity. And once we see, then we can shift. Then we can really get into the fun. Calibrating is so fun. I just want to tell you all, it is so fun to calibrate and to get really good at that, because it starts to speed things along. And that speed, that way in which we're moving through life, when we can speed it up, we get things faster, we manifest faster, we go to our desires faster, because we're getting clear. The clarity is whoosh, instead of all of this other energy that's coming to code us with old stuff, like these old illusions and stories and whatever. It's cloaking the vision. No, we want to see, we want to have clarity so that we can move in our path in a direct and fast and optimal way. That's what I want. And I want that for all of you as well.
Yeah, absolutely. We're a recalibration station here, friends. I'm going to bring us back to that word, resilience. It's a return to silence, and in that silence, you find yourself, you find your source, you find your essence. And wow, that is a powerful gift. And it takes, like we keep saying, takes that recalibration. It does take awareness first. It takes that consciousness. What am I consuming? To then even feel, what does it feel like to be calm in my body? When I realized that about 4 years ago, it was part of our Align course, and during this daydream practice, and I was sitting there, and it's just daydreaming. It's for 15 minutes, zoning essentially, and my body was like, "Oh my God, I'm so angry!" Like, "Whoo, what's going on?" I was so anxious. I felt the anxiety, and then when I did it more, it's like clients say when they've been off of Pilates for a bit, they're like, "Oh, I'm going to feel this." I was like, "Yeah, but then it's going to take 2 or 3 sessions. You're going to be right back where you are, because your body was resilient before you stopped and went on vacation, whatever it was, and came back." So now the more that I've practiced feeling that embodiment of, oh, this is what it is to be centered. My body literally is more still. I can feel my heartbeat. I feel a spaciousness. I feel lately when I've been embodying these powerful emotions, I feel it from my solar plexus. I feel this warmth rise up and shine out of my solar plexus. And that is, wow, that's a new level for me. And that I know now because I can feel it, because I'm embodying what it feels like to be recalibrated and in alignment with my radiant light bubble. To be my source, to feel what it is to hold hands with my soul for a moment, or for a day, or for however long I can. And because I've been practicing this, I am more resilient. So that means I can hold that feeling, that embodiment longer. So that is also an important piece of why build resilience. So that you can hold on to the calm when everything around you is in storm. That is an important piece of this resilience muscle, this resilience puzzle that we are offering you today.
We have to feel it to heal it. Just like this little Sadie girl here, dogs will shake it off, and
Kids too.
yeah, they get into like a mode, and then they shake it off, and then
It's done.
it's done.
Let's color now. Unbelievable.
I'm done. Let's move on. But humans, adult humans, we're like holding it together and really gripping, right? So
I am still honoring the day where, "Hey, Jem, excuse me for a moment," becomes, "Hey, Jem." Okay?
Okay, I'm good.
I'm good.
They get that out.
Yes, that's what kids do. That's what dogs do. Adults, we can do it.
Yeah. We really and truly can. It's a remembering, it's just remembering. And once you remember, it's like, like epiphany level. Oh, I remember. And then you have a reference point. When you were speaking about the body, it's like we're developing these reference points. We've built a circuitry, right, to hold that resilience and to become resilient.
Thank you, as always, our radiant listeners and watchers, for joining us. Gros bisous to tout le monde.
Ciao.
And have a beautiful holiday season. We will be back in the early months of 2026. Bonne année, bonne santé. À bientôt. Thanks for listening to the incoming Radiant Wellness Podcast. If our vibration resonates with you, subscribe so you never miss an episode. If you would like to join our community, theincoming.co, click the link in the description to gain exclusive access to our weekly classes, monthly offerings, intensives, and courses. Until next time, shine bright, radiant beings.